Your brain serves you images of disasters day after day. Deadlines missed, job lost, money gone. You don't notice it. The threat isn't real, but the damage is. You freeze, you underperform, you make costly decisions. Here's how you stop it. Left unchecked, this daily catastrophe rehearsal becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So today we replace disaster imagery with execution simulation. This is strategy 8. Stop catastrophic visualization, train execution instead. But first, watch default catastrophe at work. Giant calendar hunts you. Menacing clock burns you. 1 day left. Too late. You've blown it. Everything collapses. Total catastrophe. Every day is a deadline. The whole month is a deadline. You stop breathing. You freeze. Of course you lose your job. You incompetent fool. No income, no status. Your portfolio crashes to zero. You're dead cold. Overwhelmed. Paralyzed. Trapped. Nothing happened in reality, only in your mind. What makes this dangerous is that it's mostly automatic. You're not choosing to rehearse disaster. Images run by default. Your brain is trying to protect you, but it does so by inflating risk and amplifying downside. Imagine threats feel real, and once that happens, physiology follows perception. Your vision narrows. Options compress, strategic range shrinks. You enter a threat state. Cognitive bandwidth contracts, judgment deteriorates, agency weakens. From there, you either freeze or react without strategy. Both produce loss. The mechanism is structural. Simulation shapes emotional state. State drives behavior. Behavior determines outcomes. If you don't manage this simulation, it will govern your results. In short, your brain rehearses catastrophes day after day. In fact, it's constantly preparing you for failure. Imagine the danger becomes perceived threat. And once you enter the threat state, reasoning is distorted and decisions become unwise. By leaving simulations unchecked, you undermine your performance, and sub-performance erodes leverage. So what you need to do then is reclaim your visualization engine, your simulator. Next time you dread your calendar, next time your mind runs catastrophe, pause, slow it down, break the work, one task, then the next. Not the mountain, just the next step. Your brain rehearses failures. Make it rehearse tasks from start to finish. See yourself doing them. Simulate execution that sustains access. Simulate your disciplined response to volatility. Simulation isn't optional. Make it count. So reclaim your simulator, because your brain can run a different simulation. Not catastrophe, but execution. Instead of inflating risks, simulate completion. Instead of rehearsing failure, rehearse starting and finishing tasks. Imagine efficiency begins to register as real. And physiology follows perception, so your vision widens, options expand, strategic insights compound. You enter a resource state. Cognitive bandwidth opens, judgment stabilizes, agency strengthens. From there, you act deliberately, sequentially, structurally, and structured action produces gain. The mechanism is unchanged. Simulation shapes state. State drives behavior. Behavior determines results. The only difference is control. Control the simulator, govern the outcome. Instead of defaulting to catastrophe, deliberately train your brain to rehearse execution. Day after day, instead of failures, simulate completion. This conditions you for competence. Imagined completion registers as progress. And once you enter a resource state, reasoning sharpens, judgment stabilizes, decisions become strategic. From there, act with intent and structure, and gain follows. The cause and effect in place is simulation shapes emotional state. State drives behavior. Behavior determines results. Interrupt catastrophe, install execution, results follow. This protocol defines when and what to simulate. Every night, before sleep, you close open loops, mentally walk through execution, simulate how you will move step by step. This consolidates procedural memory. It reduces zygarnic tension, the brain's drive to chase unfinished tasks. Unclosed loops keep your system scanning all night. That's one reason you wake up depleted. But don't simulate the victory, simulate the work. If the brain believes the goal is already achieved, motivation drops. That's the fantasy trap. Now morning. Before you get out of bed, activate. Rerun the first move. Commit to it. This elevates focus. Focus drives execution. Execution compounds results. Run this daily. Close at night, activate in the morning. That's how you manage your simulated strategically. What's the alternative? Default disaster mode. Your brain rehearses catastrophe on autopilot. Execution is never automatic. It is trained. And this is the training. Deliberate, conscious, intentional discipline. So you have a choice. Either run execution simulation or default disaster mode runs you. This is the execution simulation protocol, the daily visualization training exercise. Step 1. Regulate. Before you simulate anything, regulate your physiology. 2 to 3 minutes of slow breathing. Longer exhale than inhale. Release the jaw. Drop the shoulders. Especially easing your perineum relaxes the body. This shifts your system out of threat and into a resource state. Then simulate. In the morning, rehearse today's next moves. See yourself starting, progressing, completing the sequence. At night, close open loops. If a project feels overwhelming, spend 5 minutes simulating the next few days, step by step. This reduces the brain's tendency to chase unfinished work during sleep and improves recovery. One warning: do not visualize the victory. Triumph. If the brain believes the goal is already achieved, motivation drops. Thus, simulate the work, not the win. To summarize, first, regulate state. Second, simulate execution. Override the default catastrophe mode daily. Execution is a trained habit, deliberate, sequential, structural. Most people are aware of their inner critic. They talk about that voice in their head, the one that criticizes, doubts, predicts failures. But almost no one talks about the images, the internal cinema, the flashes of chaos, the imagined firing, the missed deadline, the unpaid mortgage, the disappointed family. So catastrophes are often visual before they're verbal. And when you don't notice that, you become an actor in your own drama movie, not in reality. Except the pain is real. The purpose of this video then is to raise your awareness of that internal cinema, because most people try to silence the voice. They never question the images. Equally important, replacing disaster imagery with fantasies of big wins is not the solution. It's not an antidote to catastrophe. When you vividly rehearse massive success, the brain thinks you've already achieved it, so it rewards you emotionally before anything happened. That premature prize weakens your urgency. It dulls disciplined action. The solution for catastrophic visualization is not to simulate triumph. Now, I'm not saying don't aim high. I'm saying don't rehearse outcomes. Rehearse process, visualize execution. And that's the second purpose of this video, to give you a protocol for this execution simulation, a method for reclaiming your visualization engine. Because you cannot turn off simulation. Your brain runs it automatically, but you can reclaim it. Instead of rehearsing collapse, you rehearse execution. Instead of simulating humiliation, you simulate disciplined action. Start to finish, task by task. And when you do that, clarity sharpens, composure stabilizes, and your decisions improve. Now let's wrap this up. Your brain visualizes failure by default. That's mental malpractice, and it costs you performance. But guide the imagery, and you govern the result. Simulate your work start to finish, and turn vulnerability into rare leverage. The Power Sequence course installs this structurally. Link is in the description and in the first comment. And in the final video of this series, we integrate all 8 strategies into one operational framework for high-stakes environments, where vulnerability is a liability.